Today we are diving deep into the fire. We're going to explore one of fiction's most complicated, most controversial figures, Daenerys Targaryen. And we're going to pinpoint the exact moment that the terrified girl she was got burned away. And something much, much more dangerous was forged in her place.
And it all starts with this one line, an order from her brother Viserys. Notice he doesn't say, be a princess. He says, look like a princess. It's not an encouragement, it's a command. And right there, that's the core of her entire existence. Her identity is something to be worn, a costume for a role in a play that's not even about her.
So first, let's just set the scene. Daenerys and Viserys are basically ghosts haunting the free city of Pentos. I mean, think about the paradox here. They're the last children of a fallen dynasty, clinging to these grand titles while living as glorified refugees. They are heirs to an entire kingdom, but they're surviving on the kindness of strangers, completely trapped by a past they can't change and grasping for a future they have no way of reaching.
And the gap between these two siblings? It's a canyon. On one side you've got Viserys, who's totally lost in his obsession with the Iron Throne. In the back alleys, though, they call him the Beggar King. And then you have Daenerys. She's just 13. Her whole world is fear. It's running. It's being completely, utterly dependent on her cruel, explosive brother.
I mean, their entire life has been a story of flight. Dany was born on Dragonstone, in the middle of this legendary storm, right as her family was losing everything. They were whisked away to Braavos, and for a short, beautiful time, they had a real home, this house with a red door she always remembers. But then their guardian died, and they were thrown out into the world. They just drifted from one free city to the next, their welcome wearing thinner and thinner until they hit rock bottom. And I mean rock bottom. They had to sell their own mother's crown just to eat. So where does all this desperation lead? Well, it leads to a truly dark plan. Viserys thinks he's finally found a way out, a path back to power. He calls it the Dragon's Bargain. But you know, a bargain always has a price, and it's pretty clear who's going to be paying it. It's not him. It's going to be Daenerys. And that's the exact question Daenerys herself is asking. For months, they've been living in this rich magister's mansion, surrounded by silks and jewels and more food than they've seen in years. But even at 13, she's not naive. She knows this kind of generosity is never free. She can feel this transaction building around her. She just doesn't know she's the one on the auction block. And Viserys' plan is just chillingly simple when you break it down. Step 1, he presents his sister, making a huge deal about her pure Valyrian blood, to a powerful warlord, Khal Drogo. Step 2, the price for this gift is Drogo's massive army, all 100,000 of them. Step 3, he takes that army, crosses the sea, and wins back his throne. In this whole equation, Daenerys isn't his sister. She's not even a person. She's just currency. Now, to really understand how deep this betrayal cuts, you have to get what's been drilled into her head her entire life. This idea of the blood of the dragon. Viserys had told her over and over that their line must be kept pure, that Targaryens only marry other Targaryens. She literally grew up assuming she would marry him. So for him to just toss that sacred tradition aside to sell her to a man he calls a barbarian, well, it proves he will sacrifice absolutely anything and anyone for his crown. And this deal, it really exposes the fundamental difference between them. It all boils down to what they want, what the word home even means to them. For Viserys, it's a political concept. For Daenerys, it's a feeling, a memory. For Viserys, home has nothing to do with safety or comfort. It's completely abstract. It's the Iron Throne. It's the Seven Kingdoms. It's the power and the fear and the respect that he feels he was cheated out of. He's not longing for a house with a warm fire. He's longing for total domination. You can just hear him, right? Reciting these names like a mantra. King's Landing, Casterly Rock, Highgarden. To him, they're his birthright. They're everything. But to Daenerys, who's never seen any of these places, they're just sounds. They're the meaningless noise of her brother's obsession.
Daenerys' idea of home could not be more different. She doesn't dream about a kingdom or a crown. What she craves is so much smaller and so much more precious. It's a faded memory of the only time she ever felt truly safe.
It all comes back to that house in Bravos with the red door. Her longing is so specific, so sensory. It's about having her own room. It's the simple image of a lemon tree outside her window. It's remembering the kindness in an old man's voice. She's not hungry for power. She is starving for a childhood.
And that brings us to the moment it all becomes real. This is where we see the process, the transformation of Daenerys from a human being into a product, an object that's being prepared for sale. The whole thing starts with a bath, and the water is scalding hot. I mean, so hot it should be painful, but she doesn't flinch. She just closes her eyes and holds on to her brother's words, the family motto. The fire is in our blood. It's so tragic, isn't it? She's using the very family identity that's being used to enslave her as a shield to get through it. And then the unmaking begins. It's so cold, so methodical, like an assembly line. Slaves wash her. They scent her with oils. They dress her in this expensive silk gown. They cover her in jewels. And then the final piece, a heavy golden collar, is clasped around her neck. Every single step is something that is done to her, erasing her, piece by piece.
And this is the moment of absolute, horrifying clarity. She's looking at herself in the mirror, all done up like a storybook princess, a perfect gift. And then she remembers, just a stray comment from a slave girl, that Khal Drogo is so wealthy, so powerful, that even his slaves wear golden collars. And in that instant, the beautiful torque around her neck is no longer jewelry, it's a shackle.
That one single realization that she is being sold, not married, it changes everything. It leads us right to the climax of this whole ordeal. As they're waiting for Khal Drogo, Daenerys makes one final desperate plea, and in doing so, she unleashes her brother's final, most absolute fury.
So Khal Drogo arrives, and he is every bit as imposing and terrifying as she feared. Her composure just cracks. In this tiny, broken voice, she begs Viserys, "I don't want to be his queen. I want to go home." But when she says home, she means that safe room with the red door. When he hears home, he hears her rejecting his kingdom, his ambition, his entire life's purpose.
And Viserys' response is just monstrous. He drags her aside and says the cruelest, most disgusting thing he can possibly think of. He makes it brutally clear what she is to him. Nothing. Nothing but a key to get an army. In that moment, there's no brother, no family. There is only the price she will fetch. But here's the twist. This is the moment it all flips. After that final, horrific threat, something inside her doesn't break. It hardens. It forges. She doesn't cry. She doesn't fall apart. She literally brushes away tears that haven't even fallen yet, forces a smile onto her face, and stands up straight. Her brother has just shown her the absolute worst he is capable of, and in doing so, he has accidentally killed her fear of him forever. The frightened little girl is gone. The dragon wakes.
So, a princess was unmade, a girl was sold, a queen was created against her will. This entire nightmare, the fear, the abuse, that final soul-crushing betrayal, it was a crucible. The old Daenerys was burned to ash, and that leaves us with the big question. In the fire of this one single night, what exactly was born?